The gentleman from Maryland is recognized for 5 minutes.
I want to thank the gentlelady from the District of Columbia for yielding and for your leadership, and I rise in strong opposition to H.R. 10. We've been told that the purpose of this bill is to help all D.C. children get a better education. I strongly support that objective, but this does not do that. Let me be crystal clear. Public funds should support public education, but this bill proposes to spend more than $100 million over 5 years to fund vouchers to send public school students in the District of Columbia to private schools, while House Republicans are proposing to cut $2 billion from public K through 12 education nationally. Coming from the city of Baltimore, I understand firsthand the complexities of turning around the struggling inner city schools. Almost 10 years ago, I became deeply involved in improving one of my own neighborhood schools, and I'm still involved in that, the Maritime Academy's high school. It takes vision, commitment, accountability, and yes, resources to begin the process of turning troubled schools around. However, it is impossible to turn around public schools if we divert public resources to private schools. Put simply, H.R. 10 attempts to help a few students at the expense of the vast majority of the district's children. By dividing the funding it provides among D.C.'s public schools, public charter schools, and private school vouchers, H.R. 10 provides a third of its total funding to a tiny fraction of the district students. Specifically, the bill would fund vouchers to enable only 1,442 students, a tiny fraction of the district's 47,548 students, to attend private school. The lack of equity is stunning. Our focus should be on maximizing the impact of the federal government's limited resources to serve all the district students. Since this bill last passed in 2011, over my strong objection and along party lines, studies of the program have demonstrated that the use of a voucher had no effect on academic achievement as measured by math and reading scores, school safety, student satisfaction with their school, or motivation and engagement. Previous studies of this program show that 50% of the students from the first 2 cohorts of the DC voucher program eventually dropped out of the program. Students in the program are also less likely to attend school that offer support programs for those that are academically challenged to have learning difficulties. In addition, this bill is a direct assault on DC's home rule that was rushed through our committee shortly after Speaker Boehner announced his retirement. And the bill is not supported by DC's elected representative in Congress or majority of the DC City Council. So all the rhetoric justifying massive cuts to education funding, all the talk about budget constraints, about tightening our belts, and about making sacrifices, all that goes out the window when Republicans want to give $100 million in taxpayer funds to private schools. As a graduate of public schools and a longtime advocate of quality public education, I believe our highest priority must be to use the limited taxpayer dollars to support programs that will truly meet the educational needs of all of our children. This bill does not do that. I urge our colleagues to reject H.R. 10. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back.